Speaking in general terms, what do you see as the greatest challenges facing public relations executives today, and how can those be met?
I think the greatest challenges facing people in PR today are really that we no longer control the messaging. And we're all a little bit of control freaks. So we love to write messages, work on strategies, and work tops down. And what PR people and communicators, and frankly, it's not just communicators, but everyone in business is coming to realize very quickly, is that that sort of communications and sort of messaging, while it certainly has a place and you still do work on creating messaging, your customers, and in the case of consumer companies, consumers are also creating their own messaging about your products, about your brands, about your reputation. And so you're trying to work on multiple fronts to maybe manage messaging, but in a way that hopefully if you're getting your messages out and you're doing the right things, that other people, including your own employees, but customers and other constituencies, and in some cases consumers, will also be blending their voices in, and hopefully that messaging will be consistent and positive around your company. But I do think that's the biggest change that's facing communicators today. There's a lot of other changes as well, just with the proliferation of new technology and new ways to get messaging out, and the fact that, the individual person that you're trying to get your message to is the recipient of so many different messages. It's always about breaking through the clutter as well, and really getting with a very targeted message to the person that you're trying to communicate something to, and hopefully it's not just communicate, but get that recipient of the message to take some action.
Yeah. I think for this next question, you addressed some of it when you talked about the challenges and opportunities in the business today, but I want to ask, has the new media made the public relations industry more or less ethical?
That's a great question, but it's a really difficult question, I think, to answer in aggregate. I'd like to think that the PR, and I do think this because I've been in PR and communications my whole life, I'd like to think that the vast majority of us are very ethical people that try to operate ethically, but I do think new media adds a little bit of additional perspective, and certainly additional watchdog status, because frankly, everywhere you go, your picture can be taken and uploaded to YouTube immediately. I mean, it's one of those sorts of things where when you're always being watched, or there's the possibility to always be watched, I think that puts a little bit more, what shall we say, rigor into everyone's mental state. I think the fact that anything you say can be uploaded immediately, pictures can be taken and uploaded immediately, that there's really not a lot of restrictions around how that's done with the new media, I think gives a whole new perspective, not only to communicators and PR people, but frankly everybody that's in any kind of a public, and sometimes not even a public, but especially in a public domain. I mean, recently I gave a speech, and moments after I gave it, it was uploaded on a website, and no one asked me if they could do that. I think you just have to operate with the frame of reference that when you're in the public domain talking to someone, those kind of things are going to happen. And you have to think about that accordingly.